What the fuck?
It's the Fever Podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Fever Dream Podcast. I'm your host Mike. Today I'm sitting here with one of my co-hosts, Bri, and extra special second feature, third feature, fucking limited edition, holographic, collector's edition, Benzo. Go ahead, say hi, Ben.
Hey, you really talked me up.
Ben's got a fucking piece on him. Brian's got a piece on him. You know, I live in the same household as they do. We're all friends.
That is true.
So, what are you eating, Brian?
I think it's like rabbit.
No, really, what are you eating?
Oh, it's a
No Schweppes.
No Schweppes. It's rabbit.
No, you can't fucking use this safe word and then lie. That's the point of the fucking safe word, Brian. What are you fucking eating?
It looks like a rabbit to me.
Come on, man, you gotta quit.
Dude, that
You
poor
can't
rabbit.
eat so fast, man. Okay, no Schweppes. It's not a rabbit. Okay?
It's a sandwich.
Okay, so
But
what kind of sandwich though?
A rabbit sandwich.
No. It's got like roast beef in it, like some turkey, bacon.
It's a big fucking nice deli. It's a fucking deli sandwich.
It's making my stomach hurt.
You're really chowing into that pretty fucking hard, dude. So
That's
yeah,
why I brought some paper towels.
Yeah, he's chowing into that, and he's drinking a fucking Modelo.
Yeah.
Orale!
I just wanted to.
Brian knows Spanish too, by the way.
Hecho en México. Cerveza más bueno. The accent's racist.
Equipo de México.
I just wanted to see.
Equipo de México.
I just wanted to see what it would, why Mexicans like drinking tinfoil.
They wrap the fucking ends of the Modelo in tinfoil. All right. What do you think, Ben?
Ben's got a Guinness.
Ben's drinking a Guinness. No sandwich.
Yep.
But he doesn't actually eat. He's kind of like a fucking like immortal beings. Don't need to eat.
So a lot of people are gonna think this is gross because it's not really quite like ASMR because it's like really disgusting. But we're gonna find out if this pickle's crunchy or not.
Yeah, that's a pretty good crunch.
That wasn't bad.
I've heard crunchier.
It ain't no Vlasic though, Shout out Vlasic.
Shout out Vlasic.
Shout out Vlasic. You suck my dick.
Thank you, guys. I'm drinking the usual. I don't think we've ever disclosed what I'm really drinking, but we'll let you guys guess. Leave down in the comments. Send down your emails to guess what I'm drinking. You can usually tell funny enough, every single drink has like a different density, even if it's like 1 million spots into the density measurement, right? So density is measured off the density of water. Water has a density of 1, and then everything's based off of that. So if it's thicker, right, it has a value higher than 1. Like oil would be higher than 1. And then if it's thinner, it has a fucking number that you use to multiply the equation less than 1. You know this, right, Ben?
No, that's the first I've ever heard of it.
Oh, well, at least we get to teach the fucking viewers something. I'm going to put this one under education.
You're teaching me something.
Yeah. So things that are less dense.
Oh, dude, I almost pissed myself.
We're having
farted.
We're having science talk, Brian.
I'm sorry.
Science alert.
Can you smell that science?
Jesus, dude.
Let's talk about
Jesus
it.
fuck, Brian.
What is that, methane?
Brian's fart has a density less than water. The more you know.
All right, so here's let's see.
Oh, sorry, I got to interrupt you. Send your guesses for what I'm drinking to originalfeverdreampodcast@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.
Okay, since Mike had to finish that, we're about 10 seconds behind schedule, but we were supposed to have started our regularly scheduled feature where Ben does accents. So here we go. Go ahead, Ben. Why don't you start with a Southern Irish?
Southern Irish.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
You both know I can't do accents. This wasn't planned.
Ben, this is
This is on the schedule.
This is
No,
on the
it's not.
schedule.
There was no discussion. You
Ben-
put me on the spot here.
Nah, Ben, this is a running thing. You've done this
Irish.
before.
We're
All
behind
right.
schedule, and you gotta hurry up.
All right, we're gonna have to skip the Southern Irish. Let's just go
y'all-
straight to Welsh.
Y'all potatoes.
Y'all potatoes. Okay,
That's fine.
That's all I got.
got the
Yeah,
vocabulary.
that's
I guess.
fine.
There you go. 2 words. That's all it took.
All right, now let's hear a South Carolina.
South Carolina.
We have to. Do you think it'd help if we gave him like a line to say with it, instead of just like he has to like freestyle whatever? Like if we give him like an
I don't
actual
know.
phrase.
I don't know. Ben's the artist. What would that help?
Hey, I live in South Carolina. It fucking sucks here. I wish I lived somewhere else.
That's exactly what somebody from
pretty-
South
that's
Carolina
pretty
would say. Yeah, that's spot on. What else you got?
From South Carolina.
No.
Let's do Portuguese, like Brazilian accent. Try saying the little boy borrowed my magazines.
The little boy, he borrow magazine.
That's good.
That was probably
That's
the best one yet.
Best one,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do pick any island in the Lesser Antilles and just go with it.
Zeep bop zoobity dip, beep beep bop. Beep.
No, you're thinking the Greater Antilles. You need to go more south, towards South America, Lesser Antilles. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Swin godless.
Yeah.
God godless.
Yeah.
You have no god.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Can you do like a dwarf, like a blacksmith dwarf from like a fictitious land?
I would also like to hear that.
Yeah. You know what he sounds like.
Shiver me timbers, your armor has been wrecked by the great dragon of the north.
Ben, that's a fucking elf from the northern lands.
I thought it was supposed to be like a tough fucking blacksmith. It's like, I guess it's Irish, right? Or is it Scottish?
This is kind of what every dwarf sounds like in every movie or video game.
The stank of the brimstone brings the dragons through.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen some shit.
Yeah.
I should be asking for the accents.
Don't bring that brimstone outside.
All right, Ben, hit us.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do an accent of an Alabama 1880s sheriff.
You got this one, Brian.
Man, Alabama 18. But wait, did you say 18th century or 1800s?
1880s.
Specifically that decade.
Late 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I'd probably sound drunk, like real drunk, like blowing a 2.0 level drunk. Like that's probably Alabama, and he's a sheriff. That's really specific, man.
It's just like extra southern. It's just southern with some extra southern on top.
All right, give me a line.
You don't belong here. Go back to where you came from.
You don't belong here. Go back where you came from. I didn't feel good about that one.
Yeah.
That was close.
It's not drunk enough.
Okay, I got one for
got that
Ben.
beer.
I got one for Ben. Do a little boy, like a fucking 5-year-old, arguing with his mother that he wants chewy marshmallows from the grocery store aisle.
Why do you want this one for me?
Man, I'd smack that.
I feel like
kid.
it's easy. I feel like this is like a fucking layup.
But Mom, I wanted. It's not what I wanted. I wanted the chewy ones. These are not the chewy ones. These are the
You know, he sounds like like any fucking woman over the age of 90 in like any cartoon.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what that sounds like.
These these crows are on my lawn.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. Yeah. Well, that was the next one. So
Ben's got it covered.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Good.
All right, what you got? Give me one. I'll fucking try one.
all right, do
Jesus Christ.
a guy who lives in Brooklyn, but he's not from Brooklyn. He's from upstate. But he's lived in Brooklyn long enough that he's kind of picked it up a little, you know?
Hey, you guys can't take my tires. Hey, guys, take my car off those cinder blocks.
Yeah, that
all right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's kind of
I had to do like New York Bronx. I don't know.
That's like kind of fucking
Yeah,
like it was a little Canadian upstate, you know.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what they talk about too.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Just fucking robbing this dude.
Yeah, they always just steal tires. That's all they do in the Bronx.
How's you gonna stab me in this alleyways? Can you guys pick up the fucking sirens on the mic?
Sirens. Something's up.
Man, we're not going to
We live in a really sketchy neighborhood.
real rough, man. Okay, what's next on the agenda? Oh,
Hey, no. I got a question for Ben.
yeah.
Oh boy.
I was fucking wondering so last week, me and Ben usually we kind of hang out and stuff. But the thing is, I didn't fucking see you at Temple last week, Ben. Where the fuck were you? You just gonna skip Temple? Go ahead.
I've never been to Temple. I think you've been to Temple like once or twice, and that's because a fucking girl dragged you there so you could get inside her.
You really know how to play it off, man. Come on, man. Come on. Where were you, man? Come on. We know you're because you come to Temple every week, dog. Come on, man.
Michael, why are you sweating?
What, guys? Why are you guys fucking?
Dude, you're sweating hard. I mean, it's hot in here, but geez, man.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys are talking. I'm not hiding anything.
Were you at Temple? Can you prove that you were at Temple?
Oh boy. Come on, guys. This is just.
Jeez, man, fucking take a paper towel. Jesus Christ, dude.
Boys. Come on, guys. Come on. It's your buddy
Boy,
Mike,
this
guys.
really
Come on.
turned around.
Okay. You guys got any stories where you almost died? You got any stories like that? It doesn't have to be like literally you were in a fucking ambulance, but like where something happened to you and you got out of it maybe, and you look back on it and you're like, geez, man, that actually could have been pretty bad.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has a story where, like, you know, just simple things like you were crossing the street but you didn't look and fucking almost getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
Almost falling. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Grand Canyon, but maybe as a kid. I remember my younger brother, he would stand right at the fucking edge, dude, and just look straight down in the fucking, like, if he...
Which brother?
Marcus. Yeah, he'd be like,
Really?
we were young. I was probably like 10. He was probably like 8 or 9. I was like, Mark, you got to step back, man. I was like 20 feet away from the ledge. That's the kind of kid I was, honestly. I was like, I'm not getting anywhere near it, dude. I need room to do a somersault where I won't fall off. Like, that's how I felt. And he'd walk up and he'd crouch at the ledge.
Oh, man.
Damn, Mark.
He'd do like the fucking...
I'd be like, Mark, hey, man, come back. You can't. And
Pretty
then
confident.
like gargoyles squatting on the edge of the
fucking,
cliff.
like with the look of like a serial killer in his eyes. Like, no fucking remorse. Like, whatever.
That sounds like a story where your fucking brother almost died.
I know one for Ben.
You do?
Yeah. You might not realize it, but I feel like this is up the alley of this topic.
Okay.
So one time we went hiking, and Ben. So it was at like the top of this waterfall, and there's like these like cliffs around him, right? And you could this rock structure kind of went out, and there was this one singular rock that was like an hourglass, like. It stemmed from like a small piece of rock and it went really far out, like over this whole cliff area. And Ben climbed on top of it, and like every direction you could come off this rock, you'd like fall to your death. And he got like fucking like noodle legs, and you were like, oh man, I really shouldn't have done this. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
I got a picture of that actually.
Yeah.
There is a picture. Yeah, that was wild. Standing, it felt like I was standing on top of a really tall pencil. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that was at least a 90-foot drop, right?
Oh, way more than that.
You think so?
Oh yeah,
we're-
easily.
Yeah.
See,
And
I
then
thought.
there's jagged rock around him.
See, I thought you were going to reference what happened literally directly after that hike when we went to the that like mountain burger joint,
Yeah.
and you both tried to eat this fucking 5-pound burger with a bunch of fries and shit. I think both of you guys almost died then.
How close? So we did this burger challenge, and the details don't matter, but it was a lot of food, and so much food. Where like, I wonder how like close my blood level, like all my whatever fucking gives people heart attacks. Like what spikes when you fucking eat? Blood sugar, right? Insulin, cholesterol. How close do you think I came to like having a heart attack when I fucking ate that?
You did just.
It has to be some sort of like percentage
Okay.
closer, like 20%.
That was certainly more food than anyone should have eaten.
Yeah.
However, you did just do a lot of hiking, so
I was probably
you had a little bit.
malnourished.
You had a little bit of some headroom. You know,
You had some leeway.
you replaced some of what you burned, but
Yeah.
then there was certainly excess.
I don't know about a heart attack, but you definitely were closer to putting that toilet out of commission in that restaurant.
With your fucking ass and your mouth.
I never threw up. Fuck that guy. There was a guy with a beard. He's like, he's drunk. He's like, I come here every day. Ain't nobody done that burger challenge. It's impossible. He's trying to
Yeah.
you can't do it. You know, he was like the dude at the pool. Like,
Yeah.
you fucking kids can't beat me. You know.
We
Yeah.
still have a picture of when he finished it, and I didn't finish it, by the way. But there's the guy with the beard in the background, like staring us down.
He's just lurking in the fucking corner.
Yeah.
I can't believe this guy. He looked. First of all,
Waitresses too. The
Do you remember-
waitresses had it out for us.
they did. But do you remember the accent I did earlier? The Alabama sheriff guy.
Yeah.
That was this man. That was actually that man. He had this big ass fucking hillbilly beard,
Yeah.
skinny as shit.
Red hair.
Literally looked like he had nothing going on in his life except for hanging out at this deep mountain fucking burger joint every day.
It's like a biker bar.
So
honestly.
seriously, when Michael finished the fucking challenge, like it probably cut him real deep. Like it might have. I think it might have it could have taken him a while to get over it, to be honest. But yeah, you can see him in the background of that picture, just kind of lurking in kind of anger, like
Yeah.
a seething anger in the background.
he would like follow me into the bathroom. I don't know if anybody's ever done a food challenge. There's probably few and far between from our listeners, but you tend to have to use the bathroom, especially if you're eating like excess food. You probably use the bathroom at least like once or twice. It's not that uncommon. Well, they go like, "Oh, this guy's fucking throwing up," and he'd fucking follow me into the bathroom and like come out and be like, "Yeah, he's throwing up for sure." And I didn't do anything. I just fucking literally I just used the bathroom like anybody else. You know, and then he fucking
Yeah, he just had it out for you.
fucking prick, dude.
Yeah, some people just they don't want to see other people happy, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. But it was a fun time, man. That was a fun day. That was a while ago. That was like 5-6 years ago. I think I was like 18 or 19 when that happened.
All right, what do you got, Ben? What about a time you almost? Well, I guess we talked about The Rock. Oh.
Talk
Can you
about
think
The
of
Rock.
another
I mean, that was something Michael just kind of brought up, though. What do you have one?
No, maybe not died, but I've had some pretty. When I was in 4th grade, I was 10 years old, and I was in my lunchroom cafeteria during lunchtime, and I had been feeling funny kind of all day, and I was in line at the lost and found line to go pick up a jacket that I had left behind, and all of a sudden I just black out, and all of a sudden I'm in my school janitor's arms, and he's rushing me to the nurse's office, and I'm absolutely covered in blood,
Oh fuck!
and I don't know what's going on. I'm 10. My like concept and reality is of a 10-year-old's, and this has never happened to me before. I had never had any serious.
Can you describe the janitor?
I can't.
Black guy, bald. Old. Ex-military.
Nope, completely all wrong.
Fuck.
This is new. This is somewhere in fucking New
That
England,
was my
dude.
janitor.
Yeah, 5'10", Italian, short brown hair.
Okay. Older?
He was probably in his 30s.
Okay.
He
Damn,
was a cool
I
guy.
really wanted him to have a scruffy gray beard.
But yeah, I woke up in his fucking arms. And fucking he carries me and puts me down in the nurse's office and lays me down on a bed, and the nurse is freaking out. There's some other lady freaking out. They're on the phone with a hospital. I guess they called 911. An ambulance pulls up to the school, and the whole school knows what's going on. And I get wheeled out of the school in a not a wheelchair, but on my back.
Stretcher,
on
the gurney?
Yeah, the gurney thing.
Yeah.
And I can see kids from the lunchroom, like, peering into the small windows of the cafeteria, like, watching me get pulled out. So they take me into an ambulance, and, oh, man, I feel like shit this entire time. Like, never have I felt like this shitty before. They have something going on through my nose. They put something into my nose, and it was putting some kind of weird air up into my... I was breathing in this weird air. Still didn't know what was going on. They take me into a hospital room. They put me on this...
Have you even, like, is your mom there yet?
I got to the hospital, and my mom was informed right away when...
Well, yeah. But I mean, like, was all this fucking happening to you, like, without your parents yet?
No parents.
Jeez, man, that's a lot for a 10-year-old.
Nope, just some ambulance drivers. I barely can even remember their faces. My memory's so foggy from it. But I'm laying down on a hospital bed at this point, and they have me hooked up on some fucking machine, and I can see my vitals, and I can see my heartbeat and all that jazz. And God, I hate that shit. But my mom shows up. My parents are going through a divorce at the time, so I have to see my parents at separate little individual meetings. I guess what had happened, I didn't find out until, I guess, a few years later, but I found out that I have some cardiac problems with my heart, and I guess that was the first time I had to experience that as a 10-year-old.
That's pretty crazy, man. That's really rough for being so young. That'd be rough at any point, really, but...
The crazy part was when I came back to school and everyone thought I had died.
We thought you were dead, man.
Literally, they came up to me, everybody, we thought you fucking died, dude.
That's all they see a hospital, you know. They've seen the movies where someone gets carried off on a stretcher. That's all they think. Ben's dead. That's
There's a bunch of fucking kids out there who still tell that story to their friends. Like, one time,
there's no doubt.
I was in.
It was
this
the event.
kid. This
It was
kid
the event of that
died,
school.
and then he came back, but he died. That's
Like
what they say.
Christ.
That's what they say.
I heard that Jesus Christ came back too.
that. Well,
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Fucking the worst part was when I went back to school, all these fucking like 10-year-old girls were giving me like special attention because they thought I was
Hey,
sick,
Ben.
and they were like,
Ben.
"Oh, you are the sick boy, and we're gonna give you extra attention."
oh
you
no, you were
okay,
the
Ben?
sick boy.
And all
Every
the other guys,
school's got one.
all the other guys in my class hated me.
How come the girls like him?
Maybe I should die too.
What if I
I ignored all of them, and then they all hated me. And that's the end of that story.
Oh well.
That's why you don't
know,
have any fucking friends.
That's why
either.
we're not your friend, dude.
Good job,
You shouldn't
dude.
have-
You almost fucking
I'm
died.
angry.
Piece of shit.
I'm upset that the girls liked you and not me in 10th grade, Ben. But how come? No, I'm just joking.
So
wait. Do you have one?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I've almost died story. However, it's a long story, and I don't know how much time we got. So,
I got a kind of quick one. It shouldn't take too long.
all right.
Yeah, fucking. I used to live in the mountains, and I had an older brother, a younger
Bear
brother, and some friends and all that kind of stuff. And we were at our house, and we had a trampoline. And our trampoline was at the base of like a little. It was probably like a 10-foot like dirt bank. Like imagine like a hill had like eroded, and like half of it had fallen to like a base level, right? It's not like a hill. It was like a little dirt cliff, like maybe 10 feet. So at the top of it was where our second floor of our house was, and at the bottom was a trampoline. And we'd play usually, but sometimes like you could mess with each other. Like during winter, someone would stand up on top of like the little cliff, and they'd throw like snowballs down at you while you're jumping on the trampoline. And it's really fun. Like that's something that'd be fun for a little kid. Well, one time my older brother, so I was on the trampoline with a kid from the neighborhood, and this neighborhood was like there was probably like 5 houses like on this mountain. So there's like almost no one here, and it's summertime, so it's nice and warm. And me, my younger brother, and this kid from the place are just bouncing on the trampoline. And my older brother and the kid who's on the trampoline, his older brother, they're at the top of the hill and they're throwing rocks at us. And it's like, whatever, kids throw rocks. It's funny, haha. And well, we decide like. They're throwing small rocks, and we had one of those like little kiddie pools that fits like like a pool that you would put in your backyard. It's like plastic for little kids.
Yeah, I got hit with one of those in like a fucking gale force wind once. It hit my body and it just exploded into 1,000 plastic splinters. Go ahead.
You could throw it like a frisbee. Like it's so light, they're really thin. They're just plastic made to hold water. Well, so we brought that on the trampoline, and all 3 of us got under it. Well, so because the rocks were too small to like hurt us, they started throwing bigger rocks.
Oh.
And at one point they grabbed like a boulder, like we were all pretty young. My brother was probably like 14 or 15. We were like 10 years old or something like that. But they started throwing really big fucking rocks.
Jesus.
And I don't think they realized the how sturdy this thing was. It's like flimsy. Like anything that's strong enough to dent it would just go straight through it. Well, they threw this fucking boulder, and while we were like under it laughing, I just get hit in the skull with this fucking boulder. And it hurts immediately, and I'm like screaming, and then the other 2 kids, I can't move. The other 2 kids come. The other 2, I've never told you guys this story.
They threw it off a 10-foot dirt cliff.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, like a boulder. It took like both of them to fucking...
that fucking sucks.
Did it break on your head?
No! It just fucking cracked into my skull and fucking rolled off.
Damn.
So I'm like just fucking screaming, and the other guys, they realize I'm fucked up, and they come out and they're screaming, and then they're like, "Oh, what happened?" They're still, everyone's kind of laughing, but then they don't realize how serious this situation goes. Well, I'm just grabbing my head, and I just remember it really fucking hurt. And they ran inside, and my mother comes out, and my mother's like screaming. They run out and they grab me and they rush me inside. I remember they brought me into the bathroom, and I didn't realize what had happened yet. I just thought like my head hurt. Like any other injury, but it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they bring me to the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and like my whole skull and face and body is like covered in blood from the gash in my head.
Ugh. Yeah.
So my mother just like wrapped it, like got like towels and like fucking ice packs and stuff, and they just like wrapped up my head. I don't think I ended up going to a hospital.
Well, dude, you like lived like pretty far. You probably would have had to, you would have drove like an hour and a half to a hospital.
It probably would have been at least like half hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, they just wrapped me up, and I don't remember getting like stitches or anything. I think like maybe just the spot that got hit was just like a weird spot that bled a lot. But like I don't have a scar on my head as far as I know. I didn't get stitches. I just kind of laid in bed and kept my head wrapped up for like a day, and it was like fine after that.
Jeez.
But yeah, I think if that hit a different spot, I probably could have fucking died, or if I lost a little more blood, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fucking.
Head injuries tend to bleed more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can whatever one you got, Brian. We can do it if you really want.
Brian got hit in the head with a rock.
Did I?
But you threw the rock, and it bounced off a sign and hit you right back in the head.
I got another. I got a short one about kids throwing rocks. There's this kid, this Zach, not my buddy Zach, a different Zach. And I was hanging out with the Zach you guys know. So there's Zach 1 and Zach 2. Zach 1's an old buddy. Zach 2 is just another kid. Well, he was like calling me this nickname, and this is in middle school. And it was pissing me off. So I was gonna fight him. I was like, man, I'm gonna fuck you up. And we were like outside of school. We were just on our street in this neighborhood, funny enough. And he was just running, but I was gonna catch him and I was gonna beat him up. And Zach 1, my buddy, he's like, hey man, don't hit him, dude. And he's like, if every time you hit the other Zach, I'm gonna throw a rock at you. And as crazy as I was that young, I was like, yeah, I'll take a couple rocks. I'm like, I'll hit you. I could hit you 10 times, and I only get hit with 10 rocks, huh? Deal. And I fucking beat him up, and Zach fucking threw rocks at me.
I mean, everyone did what they said they were gonna do.
Everything
Yeah.
was promised.
Sounds like
It was a good trade to me at that time.
it's efficient. The one I got, like I said, it's kind of long. If I told it in like all the detail, but here, I think what I can do is just do like a speed run of this fucking story.
Go for it.
Maybe I'll hit the world record. I think the last guy to hit the record for telling this story this faster was some guy in Arizona. But this is my story. But I might have already told you guys. It's when I got lost in the jungle in Puerto Rico.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good story.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just...
Tried, you mentioned this on a different podcast, but we just we went on a tangent and we just never got back to it.
I don't remember,
You
but...
tagged, you one time I got lost in a jungle, and then I talk about the safe word, and then we skip.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not gonna... I mean, yeah, it takes way too long to tell with all the details, so I'm just gonna speed run it. Basically, I was living in Puerto Rico. I was dating this chick. We lived on this tiny island off the east coast, Vieques, 10,000 people. It was like an hour and a half ferry ride to the mainland. On the east coast, there was this place called Charco Frio, which came out of El Yunque rainforest. It's basically, I mean, it translates to cold river, Charco Frio. So it's but that's exactly what it was. It was just a river that came out of the jungle, and you kind of you go to this place called Ceiba. It's a little town on the east coast, and you have to hike into the jungle probably 35, 40 minutes to get to this really popular swimming hole where there was like a rope swing and a waterfall and all kinds of shit. So we wanted to go there, and I had actually been there before, back when I was living in Fajardo, which was also on the east coast near Ceiba, so I was pretty close back then. So I'd been there a couple times already, so I was pretty confident about it, didn't really think about anything. Obviously, I prefaced this story with getting lost in the jungle, so you can imagine what happened, but excuse me. But we went. So yeah, we took a trip from our island, took the ferry, went over there. We were just planning to spend 2 or 3 days on the mainland, just fucking around. We rented a car, drove around. It was great. But so we went to Charco Frio to swim, and I was with this girl I was dating, and she had been there before with a couple other friends, and she told me, she's like, oh, there's a cliff jump, somewhere up the river. There's this giant cliff that you can jump off into the river. Me and some friends did it. It was fun. And so I didn't know where the fuck it was, but she knew where it was. So I was just like, all right, let's go find it. So we hiked in, the 30 minutes, and it's kind of a rough trail. The trail goes right through this guy's property, and you're not supposed to trespass on it. So there's gates, and there's guard dogs and all kinds of shit. Apparently there's local legends about the guy, his whole family was fucking murdered by the cartel or something, and so now if he catches anybody on his property, he shoots on sight. Just crazy local legends about this guy and his property. So nobody went through it, is what I'm saying. So to get there, you have to hike, you have to cross the river 3 times, rapids and shit. It's not really that deep, but it's fast water. And then you have to climb. I remember you have to climb this ridiculously steep mud hill. The kind of mud hill that's so steep, people carved out stairs into it, steps. You can't just climb it. It's really hard to get up, but yeah. And then there's this really nice walk through a bamboo forest and shit, and it's great. But yeah. So you get to Charco Frio. We were there, swam around for a little bit, played on the swings. There were some other people there, and then she was like, "Yeah, let's go find that cliff." So we walk up the river. I'm gonna fast forward through a couple fucking details here, but basically, we ended up spending probably 2 hours hiking up this river, and it wasn't actually that hard because there's a ton of giant boulders and trees and stuff in the river. So really, it was kind of we were just rock climbing or jumping from rock to tree to tree, through a river for 2 hours. It really wasn't that bad, but it was actually a lot of fun. At some point we got to I don't know, a huge waterfall, just a rock face in front of us, and throughout the whole thing we were going, I don't know, we went pretty far, and I was just like, how far is this thing? I kept asking her, and she was just like, I don't know, we just went up the river and there it was. And I was like, she's like, yeah, I think we went this far. But we got to that huge rock wall waterfall, and I was like, "There's no way. Like, do you remember this?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I'm just like, "Well, how do you not remember something like that? You're going up a river, and there's a massive waterfall and a big rock face. Like, that's not something that just slips your mind." I feel like anyway. But we decided to go up it anyway. So weirdly enough, up the rock wall at the very top, there was a vine that somebody had made into a rope tied to like a big boulder. So it was like, I mean, literally it was like if you took like 3 vines and then wrapped tightly another vine around all 3 of those really tight, and so it kind of made this like thick, strong vine rope. So that's what it was, but it was like coiled up at the top. So she like sat down and I rock climbed the fucking waterfall, and I got up to the top and got the vine and I threw it down so she could climb up. And it's not really because she was like lazy or anything. She had actually just broken like part of her foot in a motorcycle crash, weirdly enough. But she was like a really kind of badass, crazy woman. So she didn't let like a couple broken toes and shit like stop her. So she was still doing all this shit, but it still hurt. So anyway, she climbed up, and then I don't know. It started getting kind of dark. Not really kind of dark. I mean, it was just like late afternoon. But we've been hiking up this river for hours. So I was like, this is taking too long. So I was moving a lot faster than she could, just because her foot was fucked up and I could jump around on the rocks a little better than she could. So I was just like, you stay here for a second and I'm just going to run up the river for like 10 minutes and see if I see the cliff or whatever. So I ran up the river for about 10 minutes and I got to a point where it split into 2. One way just kind of kept going with like more of the rocks, but it was like a lot more narrow. And then the other way was kind of eerie. It was like all of a sudden all the boulders in the river just completely stopped, and it was just still incredibly deep river water that was like not moving anymore for some reason. And it went through this massive gorge. Like the walls on the side of this river were probably like almost 90 degrees, like just like a really steep river gorge. And it kind of bent around and went into a dark cave. And the water was really deep. It was really deep there. And I was like, there's no fucking way that's the way. So I went the other way with the narrow rocks and stuff, but that didn't go very far. And it ended up just leading me to a boulder in the side, so basically there was a boulder on the side of a hill and the river was coming out of the boulder. Like the water was just shooting out of a crack in the rock from the side of a jungle hill. And that's like the source of that part of the river or whatever. So that's kind of where that ended. So basically both ways were dead ends. So I ran all the way back. Are you bored yet? Should I stop?
You can keep going. Yeah, finish it.
Okay.
It's a nice description. I think the people enjoy listening to it.
Yeah, so I ran all the way back to her, and I was just like, hey, the river doesn't go anywhere, both ways. She was stubborn enough. She wanted to go see for herself, so we hobbled up there, and she kind of climbed around on some cliffs a little bit, looking around, and then eventually she came to the conclusion, you're right, there's nowhere to go. So I was kind of nervous at this point because I noticed that it was starting to get dark. Also, it was starting to rain. And this is like no joke. This is like a serious rainforest, though. It's like giant tree canopy up. I don't know. It was kind of cool, but yeah, felt a little out of my element, I guess. But anyway, the thing about going up a river, it takes twice as long to get down a river. I don't know why that is, but it took 2 hours to hike up. It probably took fucking 3.5 to 4 hours to get down. And it just started getting mad dark. So we hiked down the river, which took a really long time. And it just started getting darker and darker and darker. At some point it's like getting like dark enough that it's like actually kind of hard to see like the features and stuff, anything outside of the river. And this is a jungle, so the tree canopy is kind of making it darker. There's like no sky. It's just black. There's no stars, no moonlight or anything, because the trees cover it all. At some point, this was kind of like a weird, surreal moment. We were kind of like arguing and fighting because it was a stressful situation. And she just like, she's at one point it's like raining really hard and like lightning. I'm not even joking. It was like a storm, and then she starts like laughing hysterically like a crazy person just out of nowhere. And I'm just standing there and just like, man, this is weird. Like, but I totally forgot to mention, this is a detail. We're both naked.
Right, yeah.
Like we left all of our shit in the car. I was literally just in underwear and she was just in like a bare bones bathing suit. Neither of us brought phones or anything, like just nothing. But she starts laughing hysterically and I'm just kind of staring at her, and it's raining and it's getting dark and I'm just getting worried and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And so she's like, hey, you know that cliff that we were looking for? I was like, yeah. And she's like, it's right there. And so it turns out this cliff that we went, you know, hours and hours and hours up and down a river to find was within the first probably 2 minutes of leaving the original swimming hole.
I'd be so fucking mad.
We just passed right by it. So, but here's the thing. Before, when she told me about it, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll jump off a cliff. When I looked at it, I was like, no fucking way. It was like 60 feet. It looked like like the height of jumping off a fucking parking garage. And we're not talking jumping off of that kind of shit into like the ocean or some big lake or body of water. We're talking like a narrow jungle river.
Yeah, into like a creek.
And there's like and there's like lower cliffs around it too. So if like you jump too far or at a weird angle, you could just hit another cliff pretty easily. Anyway, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna fucking climb this thing and jump off of it, but she did. So I was like, all right, fine, you do it then, and I'll just wait here. And so she climbs up this cliff, and I'm looking at her all the way up there. Jesus Christ, guys, fucking.
Ben's fucking doing it. I'm not doing anything.
I'm gonna put you both in detention. I will hit you with my ring finger.
Ooh.
I don't know.
That's some threat with the guy without a ring.
So, so she jumps off the cliff, and honestly, it was a really weird moment because I swear to God, it was some shit out of a movie. She was like standing at the top of the cliff, and she just starts like screaming and like laughing and crying, like kind of weird,
Christ.
crazy person shit. And like it's raining really hard, and like a lightning strikes behind her. Like I swear to God, it was like a cinematic movie bullshit. I'm just watching. I was like, I can't believe I'm looking at this.
Did you scream at the top of the cliff, like your hands out, like up at the fucking sky?
That's what she did. That's what she did. I'm just standing down.
What do you want, God?
I'm just standing down there looking at her. Just, I can't believe it. I just don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking at. But
That kind of thing like didn't arouse you?
No.
All right.
No, man, I was scared. I was like, okay, but here's the word. So she jumps off this fucking cliff, and it's like it's such a fucking big cliff that I had the time. It's like there's like seconds in the air that you can just watch her go down. It's not like an instantaneous thing.
Oh,
where,
she jumped? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
she jumped off the cliff, and I just watched her go down and down and down and down and just smash into the fucking water at the bottom of this ravine. And like, you know, classic.
Boss.
What?
That's boss.
Yeah. Well, classic, you know, you just see where she, like, all the ripples from where she jumped in and the bubbles and shit, and you're just like, I was just staring at it, and I was just saying over and over to myself, she ain't coming up. I was like, no, she's not coming up. I was like, that's no fucking way. First of all, the slap when she hit the water was loud. I mean, really loud. I was like, that sounded like it fucking hurt.
Damn, man.
But like she came back up. She came back up like 6 seconds later, just still laughing. Except now it was kind of less of a crazy laugh and more of like a relieved laugh.
Was this person happen to be on drugs?
I mean, not today. That's all I can
Not
say.
today? So was this like one day out of 30 they weren't on drugs?
Could have been. Yeah.
All right.
She anyway, here's the next problem. The next problem was that she's down in this giant fucking river ravine, and I'm all the way the fuck up on this cliff, and the only way for her to get up is to climb on the other side of the river. So, and it's getting dark, man. I mean, like, it's getting dark enough to where I don't know how to describe this. It wasn't like a pitch black room yet. It was like I don't know. Everything was fuzzy. You couldn't see any like details on anything. It was just like a gray. But anyway, she climbed up onto the other side of the river, and she's climbing up this fucking hill, and I'm trying to like weave my way in through these trees to get back to the original swimming hole, which, by the way, once you left like the general river area, then it was pitch black. You couldn't see dick because the trees were covering any sort of light from the sky. I saw this. I don't know what the fuck it was. To this day, I don't know what it was. Some sort of cat. Like it wasn't like a small house cat or anything. It was like a mid-size, but it wasn't like a panther or some crazy shit.
It wasn't. You don't think it was just some dog? There's a lot of fucking stray dogs.
No, it was definitely a cat because it skittered it skittered in front of me, and I'm not even kidding. Like it was like as close as for me to you. Like it was right there in front of me, and it just ran past me, ran towards the river, kind of hid in some rocks, and I yelled out to her on the other side of the river, like, hey, I saw like a fucking cat thing. I don't know. We should probably go.
Yeah, that's what did it. You saw some cat thing and you were like, yeah, it's time to go.
I don't know, man.
Not the girl with a broken foot jumping off of a cliff.
But so she... So this took a considerable amount of effort. But I managed to get back to the swimming hole, and so did she. So we're standing there, but it's too late. By this time... We're at the swimming hole. It is so fucking dark. You can have your hand in front of your face and you can't see it. You can't count your fingers, nothing. You look down at your feet, it's just blackness. You don't see your legs, you can't see your feet. It's that fucking dark. And we're still probably 45 minutes up the river from our car. And we're naked, we don't have anything. But she has her cigarettes and her cigarette lighter. So... we're faced with this mud hill we have to climb, pretty steep mud hill. Not the first one, but just like another one you have to get up. And the only way we were able to do it is we would turn on the cigarette lighter, look where you have to step, and then it goes off, and then every single step up this hill we had to turn on the fucking cigarette lighter, dude, to see. And here's the worst part. It's still kind of storming. It's windy. The jungle's making crazy fucking sounds. There's some sort of cat thing out there. We get to the top of this mud hill finally, but her fucking foot got fucked up from that jump. Like, it was already fucked up from crashing on a motorcycle, but it was like extra fucked up after she fucking jumped off that cliff. So we get to the trail that's supposed to lead us out, and she's limping. Like, I'm like army man carrying her out of there, you know what I mean? Like
fireman's carry?
No, it wasn't over the shoulders, but it was like that. She's
just got like an arm around you.
Yeah, arm around me, and I'm just like helping her get through here. But she keeps falling. I mean, it was honestly really sad. Like she kept slipping and falling in like mud and stuff. Like
really?
Yeah, and just like swearing and crying and yeah, pretty much.
Crying, like breaking out in tears, crying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, or like, that's just like, insane, or like, dude, frustration crying.
This
like,
girl sounds like a maniac.
Yeah, Puerto Rico, man. You should check it out.
Screaming at lightning and jumping off of cliffs with a broken foot, and now she's like crying alone in the mud. I was trying to help her. I was picking her up. So I haven't even gotten to the craziest parts. I haven't even gotten to the craziest parts, and I'm gonna try to wrap this up quick. Here's what happened. We're hiking down this trail. She kept slipping and falling. I was picking her up. I'm like army fucking supporting her out of this jungle. We're both fucking naked, and it's dark and shitty. We have to, every few steps, we have to light a cigarette lighter just to look at the ground. There were a couple times, we're on like mud and dirt, and we knew that was the trail. There were a couple of times where I noticed that I was like stepping on like grass and bushes, and then I'd have to turn the lighter on and look at my feet, and I'd be like, yep, we're not on the trail anymore. Like, it was so dark that you could step right off of the trail and not even know it. Then, and to this day, I Googled it and everything. I don't know what the fuck this was. I swear to God, we're like halfway down this dark ass trail, and I hear like a wolf fucking howling somewhere in the jungle behind us, like loud. And I think I turned to her and immediately asked, "Are there fucking wolves in the jungle?" And she's like, "I don't think so." I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
It was like a beast howl somewhere in the jungle. It was like the fucking jungle Sasquatch or some shit. I fucking so I pick up a stick, okay, and
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm still carrying her out of here, and I'm just first of all, I feel like a caveman. I feel primal. I was like, I've got this naked woman around my arm. I'm naked. I got a stick to defend us from the fucking jungle beasts. Fucking like it was.
That's really cool.
I mean, it was.
That's really fucking cool.
It was fucked up.
It didn't feel cool being like a caveman. Like, this is what humans are.
I no, dude. For just a second, I really thought about it, and I was like, this is what ancient humans had to deal with, and I was like, God, this is scary.
Were you hard?
Yeah.
Did this arouse you?
Yeah.
Did you do all this hard?
Yeah. But so here's the thing. And like I don't know where that cat thing went, but there was definitely something in the bushes around us. There was just bushes fucking moving and rustling all over. Even the trees above us were like shit was dropping out of them, and like we could hear an animal somewhere up in the fucking palm trees above us and shit, and the bamboo. Anyway, we ended up getting to the point where we got to the guy's property, the one with the guy with the legend, right? Because the road goes right through his property, and then it goes out a gate and then to the parking lot where we parked our cars. However, the way that everyone does it and how we did it going in was we had to go down, or well, I guess we went up that massive mud hill and then across the river like 3 times. We just stood there and just thought about it, and we're like, it ain't happening. We're like, there's no fucking way we're going to get down this steep mud hill and then cross the river like 3 times through like thick brush and trees and vegetation and rocks and all kinds of shit. There's no way we're going to do that. 1, in this dark, and 2, with her, how fucked up her foot is. So we kind of just decided to sneak through the guy's property like a fucking Nancy Gray novel going into the fucking haunted mansion yard or something. And so we just kind of go through the guy's gate, and we're going through his property, and he's got this little farm and little farmhouse and all these like weird greenhouses and shit. And it's still pretty dark, but there's like some lights on his porch and his house and stuff that we can see. And so we're sneaking by, and we're sneaking over his driveway, and I look up the driveway, and you can see the guy, and he's like, I mean, we're talking classic Tom Sawyer bullshit. He's sitting in like a rocking chair on his porch, just kind of hanging out. He didn't have a shotgun or anything, at least I don't think. I think he had a shovel. But he was just fucking in a rocking chair on his porch. And so we're sneaking by, and we snuck by him real slow, and then we got to his gate, and it was locked, and he just had these high fences around his gate and big bushes, and there was barbed wire on the top of his gate. Like, this guy was serious about keeping people out, that's for sure. There was kind of a little slot underneath the gate that I could have probably crawled through, except for fucking stupid reason there were 2 vicious, just wild dogs on the other side of the gate, just barking and snarling at us through the gate. And so we're just kind of stuck in this position where it's like, okay, I could like fucking crawl under this gate right now, and like, you know, we could do it, we could get out of here, but then what do you want to be doing? Like crawling under a fence and then have a vicious dog just jump at you while you're halfway fucking under this fence?
Bad idea.
Yeah. So we had no fucking choice but to go back to the guy's house and ask him to come unlock the gate for us. The dude that apparently shoots on sight, the dude that fucking...
Oye, mira,
Ayúdame.
ven acá, ven ahí.
Ayudamos. Yeah, and
Ayuda.
so long story long but short, fucking we walked back up to the house, and it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life, fucking approaching a man in his property out in the fucking jungle. I mean, literally, just imagine two fucking people wandering out of the dark jungle, just fucking almost butt ass naked.
He probably felt a lot more safe.
And
You
I'm
guys
just-
we're butt naked. Like
Yeah.
these people. What are these guys gonna fucking do to me?
And I'm just yelling, like, ayúdame, permísame, discúlpame, like, I don't know, anything.
Ayuda.
Yeah, and so he kind of wanders over. Man, this it was fucked up. He brought a shovel. I know that. I think he would. I don't know what was gonna happen, but he brought it over, and we just kind of like. We just quickly explained, just like, yeah, we were at the swimming place, and it got dark, and we were trying to get back at blah blah blah. Can you unlock your gate? And he's just like, oh yeah, sure. No, he ended up being a really nice guy. We didn't really mention the fucking rumors about him. We didn't talk to him about his murdered family.
Yeah.
Nothing. He just kind of, it was like really classic, honestly. He just kind of like walked us down to the gate, and the whole time he's like talking some shit nobody understands, and the dogs on the other side of the gate were his. So he unlocks the gate, and they just come in, and they're all friendly, and they fucking lick him and shit.
Yeah. Boop, boop,
And
boop.
so we're like,
No, I'm a
okay,
dog.
sick. And anyway, so we walk through the gate, and we're just like a block down from where we parked, and we're walking down the road, and a couple more dogs run out of the fucking jungle and get in front of us and snarl and bark and shit. But at this point, I've had enough of this shit. So I didn't even flinch. I just walked. We just didn't even act like it bothered us. We just walked past these dogs, and they didn't do shit. They let us.
Fucking punks.
They let
Punk-ass
us.
dogs.
They let us pass them, and then they continued to chase us, barking and snarling and stuff. But behind us, and we're just like, I don't give a fuck. And we just slowly walked to the fucking car, and so we got back to the car. She got in the car. I got in the car. She fell asleep, and I drove about halfway across Puerto Rico. And I found a parking lot in like a hospital somewhere in the fucking mountains, and then we slept there. That's the story. I guess I didn't almost die, but it certainly
No,
felt...
you did almost die. Fucking hypothermia, eaten by wolves. Fucking
No, so-
fall off a cliff. You could have let a woman die. You could have been, starved, gotten lost, broken an ankle, fallen to your death in the darkness, shot by a man in his fucking property, eaten by dogs. If you went into that, there's like 5-6 different things. You could have easily
I
died.
googled it, man. I googled it, and I was like, "What kind of dogs are in the fucking jungle?" First of all, no wolves. Of course not. There's no fucking wolves in the jungle. However, I think, in my best theory, is they were probably just feral dogs. One thing about Puerto Rico and a lot of Latin countries is there's fucking stray dogs literally everywhere.
Yeah.
I lived in a town where on any given street corner there could be 12 to 16 dogs just laying there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dogs out there, and some of them form packs and they go run in the fucking jungle. So that's that's still dangerous. You don't want to approach like a group of fucking 9 feral dogs in the jungle.
No, they'll fucking rip you to shit.
So that was probably that, but not good either way.
I think it's a good story. A lot of people most people never have a fucking story like that unless you went to war or something. Seriously. Like, the only more severe situations is being in combat. As far as just a civilian.
If there was like actually somebody with a gun somewhere.
You're just straight up against nature.
Yeah.
The next
Being
worst
butt, I think what made it more stressful is being fucking naked, just with nothing, no phone, no flashlight, like just underwear, literally just underwear. I picked up a stick. You know what I mean?
I feel like that makes it cooler.
Yeah, it is cool. I think I'm gonna end us off. Just a last note. I'm gonna read a Pokédex entry from Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is Zangoose 335. Zangoose usually stays on all fours, but when angered, it gets up on its hind legs and extends its claws. This Pokemon shares a bitter rivalry with Sir Viper that dates back generations. Thanks, Fight.
Praise Zangoose.
Praise Zangoose. He's got a fucking red stripe through him. Cool guy. This has been the Fever Dream Podcast. Hope you guys have a nice day. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna keep that in.